Let's do it.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch Crypto. We got B. Wellington over here to the charts. We got some great new things we're going to talk about with Bookmap a little bit later. And I do apologize for late. B. Wellington's computer had a major emergency shutdown because that's how much money we're making on this fucking market. What do you guys think about that? So, hey, man, tell us what you got going on over there on your charts today.
Well, I mean, seeing as you just got back from the trailer. Yeah, we'll just go to the charts. This is the daily. Oh man, look at this daily. This is on USD. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Long time, cowboy. You think we're coming to get that wick? I say we
come get this wick.
I say we go get it.
We know this setup. This setup is a classic setup that we see all the time on lower time frames. So if it's consistent with what it does on lower time frames, when this 800, begins to cross over now, the price needs to come a little bit down, which would get us into this wick in order to cross over the 800 with these two EMAs here. But generally what it does is it likes to take a deep cut for everybody that's playing the long off of this 800 EMA. So on the daily,
is this your famous setup?
This is the setup. Yeah.
Oh, on the daily?
On the daily.
So you're telling me that we need to get prepared for Armageddon?
I'm telling you that there's a good chance that if this plays out like it normally plays out on lower time frames, because I've never really seen it on the daily. But we all know the patterns are the same. We've come up, we've tested this 800, we've obviously rejected off of this. This move to the upside was probably bought because not only did you have the 800 EMA here as a whole, we're also well under support, right? As well. So you've got support that's here. You've also got, a little bit of a support line that's here, right? So we are at support. So there's going to be some serious buying in this area. We've come back up. We've tested that EMA. If we reject off of it, I anticipate that we end up in, well, I'm not going to say that range because we're on the daily.
Did you say zero?
You see this? You see this zero? No, just kidding.
Negative 200.
Yeah, so just kind of hopping down into my charts are messy, but that's how charts are. If you're really putting in the work, but this is on the 1 hour, and so if you do look at it, I mean, technically, when you have a head and shoulders, this shoulder is supposed to come up a little higher than this shoulder. This should be a little bit higher. Whatever that is, variation on a head and shoulders. But we definitely are going to revisit or need to revisit, or, it's very likely probability-wise that we revisit these areas here. Since we wick down here, this is the wick. Normally, they come back to these particular areas. And so I anticipate us getting back to these areas. We've already kind of tested once, tested twice, tested a third time, failed, didn't even get up to the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. And so we have this early move. I mean, it's 30 minutes into we're about to hit 9 o'clock, which is, of course, the start of a new hourly candle. But, we've had these two nice moves to the downside. As you can see, we've had some volume here. I look for us to break this 1976 area at some point. We do have this wick that's here, this vector candle that we need to come back and recover. And so, we opened up with the Brinks, with the Brinks here, to moving back down, just doesn't, for me, I know the market's going to try to be trappy, try to get some longs, but they should have trapped longs here, even some longs here. And now they're kind of putting it in the dirt and saying, okay, let's move down. So I would anticipate we go at least into this area, which is not that far. I mean, we're talking about breaking 1976, getting to 1956, and then begin to explore this area down here. The only apprehension I have about the move is I thought that they would move up a little bit more in order to trap more longs before they come back down. So there still is a chance that they can come back up, trap some of these shorts, take out those stops, and then come back down. That happens as well. But the market, just doesn't seem like it wants to do much trapping to begin with. So we have had the brinks right to the downside. Generally what I like to see is kind of a stop hunt move. Let me even go down to the 2 minute. But we haven't seen really any stop hunts. We really haven't seen anything out of the brinks outside of this downward move, which again is not consistent. It generally doesn't go down and then go all the way down, right? Like generally you get kind of a shakeout at the brink. So it's a little concerning that we didn't have the shakeout, but we are headed to the downside. If we look at OI on an aggregated basis, OI is at 4.8 billion, down negative 6.72. Yesterday I think we're about the same yesterday. I mean, whenever they build OI, they're taking them away. We had OI build on this move to the upside. When it came down, OI came down as well, which would indicate to me that some of these are longs. You got a lot of longs to come in here. And so as we come down as well, consistently we've got OI that's coming down. On the Binance chart, let's see here. Let me put this on the 2 hour. I'm not going to screw with it too much. I may already have this chart up somewhere, but we'll just take a look at it. If we look at this, these are CVDs off of our perpetual contracts. These bottom two. Up top is spot, and as you can see, spot is somewhat recovered, but it really hasn't. Spot's going to be what initiates any move to the upside. So the fact that we're kind of just flat spot wise and even down to a little bit to the downside is a little concerning. And you've got kind of OI, well, at least this is on Binance, OI coming up as prices coming down, which to me would indicate either people are they're opening positions, right? So with OI increasing, maybe they're opening up longs and buying this dip. Maybe they're opening up shorts. But with spot not responding, this not responding, that not responding, I would imagine those are shorts being opened up to the downside. So we may see a move to the upside here pretty soon. Just looking at sentiment, looking at funding rate, we're positive to neutral. Probably the majority of the charts are, but we see Binance. So that chart that we saw before Binance, or that increase in OI from Binance, are people going short. OKX, looking at that, kind of the word on the street is that these are the whales in this particular deal. So you got some whale shorts, but some people turn it around, and then of course Binance on the coin margins as well. But overall, we're looking at positive funding rates, so longs are paying shorts. Looking at the market itself, we've got, here we go. The inflation numbers are already coming out. UK inflation surges a 40-year high of 9% in April. We do have some, I believe, some job numbers, either job or housing coming out today. We'll take a look at that. They're already talking about Bitcoin could fall another 40%. They're putting fear in the market. Crypto's all over the front page of the market. We've also got, the founder of Terra USD, that shit show, wants to put another blockchain together. Wouldn't recommend it. We still got oil, man. We still got oil over $113, which is not great for the economy overall. Bitcoin's down, S&P's down, Nasdaq's down, Dow's down, 454 points at the start. I would anticipate a little bit of recovery this afternoon of some of this. If this,
Hey man, this is the beginning of the Armageddon.
This is the beginning of it all. I mean, if we go to Exo charts, we're below the POC. You can see what this looks like. We've got sessions between May 10th and May 18th, so this is a week's worth of data or so. And so we come up here to the the point of control, and then we bounce off the point of control, and now we're headed back to the downside. So if this continues down, generally it's a momentum deal. So as you start breaking into some of these lower spots, you're going to find it bounce around here, bounce around there, and then eventually down here if it continues to the downside. Obviously, if it continues to the downside. So, that's, well, you know what? Let me do this. going to. Where's my news? So for today, the 18th, we've got building permits, housing starts. So building permits 1.82 came right in line. Housing starts is a little bit low, so that's not great for the economy. You want a housing start, so the housing market will start to close tomorrow. We've got a lot of the jobs claims reports, so we'll see how that goes. So that's all I got on my end from the charts, and let's see what you got, brother. Let's see what High Block and Bookmap. Looking forward to seeing what Bookmap will do with that.
So I found out, so Beta and Alpha got merged, so it's all under Beta now. So just in case you didn't know. Okay, hey, so this is ETH on the Binance chart. We look at this every morning. As you can see, yesterday we started our descent from 603 million in positive liquidation deltas. We now worked our way down. We're entering the negative sector right here. It's not very much yet at this point. It's negative 52 million. However, we do have some more areas to go down to. Again, this 1970, 1960 area is going to be critical. We got some big liquidations there, as well as some liquidations here. We do have some short liquidations above us, and we also do have this gap in here. Normally they like to come in and pack this gap in and kind of fill it up. So
how dare you say that?
What?
They normally like to come and pack the gap.
Pack the gap. Yeah. Pack the gap. So we may range in here, and the first area that we want to look to as for new higher highs, if we break 2040 area. The second area we want to be paying attention to if we get up there is 2106, and then the third area 2111, and then of course up here at 2146. Those are all to the upside. Bookmap looks like it's telling slightly a different story. However, this was when I was looking at Bookmap a few minutes ago. Orders are popping up all over the place. So let's get in here. We're on a much shorter time frame than we normally look at right now on Bookmap, as you can see. So this is the chart volume profile that we've been looking at right here. There's someone right here at 2000 and then 2003 that have individually a heavy set of orders. As we were working our way down, let me zoom out a little bit out here so you can see this. So when we came down here, we broke this little line that I drew here, and we came up, you can see that we started to see orders popping up above us to the upside. That is a possible indication of a order book flip. We were going upward, and then we started coming down. We have a potential flip on our hands. If we do have if that potential flip does play out, do expect some more downside volume. CBD up here looks like it may be starting to kind of slow down. As you can see, there's no orders here. It looks like we may potentially be exhausting longs. We'll see what happens. Do pay attention to what happens when we get in this 2000 area. If we get rejected up here and start coming downward, expect some more movement to the downside. As far as long-term liquidity goes, you have, again, right up here and right above 2000 to 205 area, and then we still have the liquidity that long-term liquidity that we've been looking at right here, just above 1980. So do pay really close attention to those areas. Right now we're trading in what they consider a low node area for the order book right here. We're kind of right here in this gap. And then session volume profile, the bottom end of this is 1950. So if we do start going down, pay attention and be looking for a bounce at 1950. We may get the bounce. If we don't get the bounce, expect us to keep going down to this next area where we have some high volume at, and that's going to be between 1920 and 1930 area. As far as on the upside goes, we don't have anything majorly on the upside, or at least we didn't while ago. We still don't, but the top end of the range for the session volume profile that we've been working with is around 2150. We did mention that a while ago on High Block. We did mention that area, so do pay attention. We do have a B-like deal here on the session volume profile, which also is a pretty good indicator that we are going to see some more movement to the downside. And also we have some long-term liquidity right down here at 1800. So there's a good possible chance that we're going to be working our way down to get to this long-term liquidity, because we don't have anything above us right now. All the long-term liquidity is below us. And as you can see, again, CVD may be starting to exhaust up here. And if that's the case, then expect us to see some downside action today.
Oh man, I like the new layout. So one of the deals is you got the actual order book there to the right. What is that? What are you getting out of that?
So right here, so what we want to pay attention to is when we get up into these areas, and then this is just another good indication for exhaustion. So when you pop up here to this top end, and then where you were seeing green orders fill up, but we don't have any heavy orders, and the blue, yellow, orange, red, etc. And then you start seeing a lot of reds come in. That's a good indication. And then you also want to kind of correlate and see if you're in a low node area in your order book or the chart volume profile. Because if you want to pick up a trade, so say you're in this choppy range right here, and you want to get in, but you're looking for a good entry. You want to always go back and you want to look at like these nodes right here. So for instance, like if you were looking to get in a trade right now, you might actually want to come up here into the high 1980s or 1990s right here, put an order in, but your stop loss is probably going to be right above here, like 2003, 2004 area. This is the current order book. You see these little lines right here?
Right.
These little white lines?
Yeah.
That is an indication. So that is only one person with that many orders. So you can see where there's one person with a bunch of orders. So when we get down into that area, you can see what their intent is. So if they're just stacking a bunch of orders, especially high amount of orders like this, and they start coming down, and then they start what they call leading the price, which is where they're kind of spoofing the order, but all they're doing is they're taking this price and they're just moving it a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further down. So they're dragging the price down with it. As long as we continue to see a pressure up here and we don't break through this and we keep seeing orders fill in behind that with these orders moving down, that's also a really good indication that we're going to see some continuation to the downside. Again, we are working down here on the bottom end of the session profile, chart volume profile right here. We're pretty close to where the point of control is for the chart that we're looking at. So don't get session volume profile confused with chart volume profile. Session is the entire session for the last 4 or 5 days. This is just what we're currently looking at here on the chart, which is giving you your range. So right now your trading ranges are 2001 right down here to just above 1980. This is the range that we've been ranging in. So you want to pay it. So so we come down here and we get a bounce, right? This is pretty much already developed. So you get a bounce here, you come up, you can go ahead and put your order in right here, right up here at 2100 area, and then it comes right up in here. So there was an order that this was trying to get to right up here, and as soon as it got up here and as soon as it got close to the chart volume profile, that order got spoofed. The long exhausted, ran out of gas, boom, there's your entry for a short. Come down here, same thing. We were doing good, orders got spoofed. Bottom of the range, we're looking right here for a possible reversal, exhaustion of CVD, and then you could have took a long right here and then rode that up to roughly about right around up into this range, all the way up to here, cashed out, and then go watch the videos. Hey, that's all we have, ladies and gentlemen. We're definitely running over. That's all we have for today, though. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place. Until next